trillion question. How much influence does Joe Biden have over our economy? Well, here's the thing, guys. For some of us who lived under a rock for a long period of time, which was me, and had no clue to the answer of this question for probably 2.5 decades of my life, the president has a significant influence over our economy. And in today's show, we're going to talk about exactly how he does and other influences over our economy as well. What's up, guys? My name's Chris with Warrior Consulting, and I work with entrepreneurs nationally and internationally to start, build, grow, and scale their business to the multi-million-dollar mark and beyond. And guess what? Today, I want to show you guys some love, specifically to those of you that love my content. And for anybody that loves my content and wants a free guide on how to scale as an entrepreneur, all you have to do is drop the word entrepreneur below, and I'm going to give you a free copy of my guide and video, Scaling Entrepreneur. I'm estimating around $10,000 worth of video and content I'm giving away this year, specifically just to you guys that like my content and comment with entrepreneur below to hook you guys up so you guys are winning too. So if you want this guide, drop entrepreneur below. I'm going to take care of the rest and hook you guys up. And with that said, let's get into the show. All right, guys, check it out. All of you guys know how I feel about Joe Biden, and it has nothing to do with him being a liberal and the other side of conservatives. I just think that it's a complete mess when it comes to both parties, regardless of what designation his is. So this is not a political show. This is a economic overview show when it comes to how much influence does our president actually have over our economy, specifically on where we're going over the next couple of years. So, when I was writing this show, I initially thought about it this way. I was like, man, our president has 100% control over our economy, but that's wrong. He doesn't. And then I thought to myself, it's closer to 75% control over our economy. And I thought about that, and 75% is a little too much. The number that I fell upon is 50%. I believe not Joe Biden himself personally, because we all know he's just a mouthpiece and puppet, not the people behind him, but his entire administration of close to 4,000 people in the swamp and the people behind him have approximately 50% control over our economy. And I really wanted to say 75%, but the reason why I didn't is because it's a global economy, and the Federal Reserve, which we've talked about on this show extensively, is not a piece of the government. It's not an arm of the government. The title Federal Reserve, fundamentally, which is a big bank, is privatized, and it's not a part of the government. In the privatized bank, the Federal Reserve does whatever the fuck it wants to do, regardless of who's in office. For instance, they screwed with Trump. Now they're screwing with Biden, and they've been doing it since 1913. In 1913, the Federal Reserve came around, and that was the first time in the American country history, the history of our country, we had inflation. When the Federal Reserve became something in 1913, inflation started. Here we are in 2022, and it's some of the highest inflation that's been seen in 4 decades. So the major players on our economy are the Federal Reserve, the global economy, and the Biden administration and people behind him, because we all know that he's not mentally astute enough to make decisions, to include never knowing where he's going when he gets off stage, not putting training wheels on his bike because he likes to fall over. He shit himself at the Vatican. He showers with his daughter. He doesn't make decisions well. Other people do. But I'm not here to dog Biden. I'm here to explain that, though I would happily dog him, I'm here to explain that he doesn't have complete control over the economy. The global economy, the earth, the countries of the earth, the global economy has control over our economy. For instance, in April of 2020, China shut down their economy because of COVID. When they shut down their economy and their stock market took a downturn and they stopped producing and exporting, it affected us greatly. As a watch dealer, it affected my markets significantly. And that's just a little piece of the economy. And it massively affected us, cooling off very inflated prices for a long period of time just because another country shut down their economy again. The global economy has a piece, an effect on our economy just because we all depend on each other. For instance, we depend on the Middle East for oil. If they stopped shipping oil, well, we'd have to buy oil from other places like Russia, and we're not really on the best terms with Russia. I mean, we have oil here in our country. We just decide not to use it for whatever reason because of green energy and so on and so forth, which I think is ridiculous. But the point that I'm getting at is global economy will affect our economy. If one producer stops exporting and producing, it affects everybody, to include our economy in this case. In addition to everything that we're talking about, okay, Biden's campaign's influence over bills, laws, executive orders, what he says, and how the White House responds to everything does have a big influence over our economy. And in my professional opinion, and not as a professional economist, but as a educated individual that studies this like the world and time is stopping because I want to know everything, I would say about 50% of what he does and or accounts for is affected and affecting our economy relatively significantly. Just to kind of bring it back together, guys, Joe Biden is not the end-all be-all when it comes to our economy. You have two other major players, which is the Federal Reserve and the global economy. There are smaller players like the American people, but Biden does have a large effect over our economy. And understanding that he's not the end-all be-all, but does have a significant effect over the economy is vitally important as an American, as a taxpayer, as someone who's getting prepared for the dark times to come in 2023, 2024, and 2025. And when I say dark, it's going to be dark for many people, but for us savvy people, it's going to be very, very profitable. If you have any questions, if you want to contradict me, please drop a comment below. Let's have an adult conversation about this. I'm not going to insult you. I would hope you wouldn't insult me. Even if you have differing views or think that what I said is right, definitely drop a comment below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you know when I'm dropping videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.